Hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to one more class here at SEDA College Online. I am teacher Camila and I'm going to do the extra class today with you for revision. Okay, so nice to meet you all and let's see what's the topic today. So I always tell my students to get ready before we start the class because this is a normal class. So we need to take notes. We're going to have exercises during the slide. So it's important that you have a piece of paper, a pencil or a pen, and make sure you have a quiet place where you can listen to me well. Okay? Good. So I'm going to start with a question. Can you identify what tense is this? So here we have the first sequence. I get up at 7 a.m. I have breakfast at home and then I go to work. The second sequence. She has lunch at 12 p.m. She finishes work at 5 p.m. and she goes home by bus. So what tense is being used here for all of these sentences? Can you guess? It's very easy. Seems very easy. It's the present simple. Yeah, but you can ask me, teacher, but it's present simple is so simple and it's so easy. Do we need a revision for that? And yes, we do need a revision because it's very common to see people making mistakes when using the present simple. And it's very important to have the basic grammar very well structured so you can learn all the other grammar topics as well. Okay, so there is a writer that I really like that he's called Jim Scrivener, and he explains the meaning of present simple and explains a little why I chose to review these with you today. So the core meaning, according to Jim Scrivener, is about the present simple, things which we think of as generally true, unlimited in time, for example, without a beginning or an ending. Despite its name, the present simple can actually refer to the past, present, and or future, and it isn't very simple. Yeah, so it seems easy, it seems simple, but it's not that simple. So that's why today we're going to review step by step all the uses of the present simple. Okay, and after the class you can let me know if you learned something new or maybe you remember something that you didn't remember about the present simple and its uses. Okay, so let's start with the form. The present simple form is very basic, something that we use every day in most of our conversations. Yeah, so we have there, I work for affirmative, I don't work negative, do I work for question. So the first big and important thing about the present simple is the third person, he, she, and it, and remembering that they have different form. Yeah, so let's take a look. So I say I work, he works. I don't work, he doesn't work. Do I work? Does he work? So we use different forms for I, you, we, and they, and then for he, she, and it we have different forms. So let's take a look at affirmative form. So for the subject pronoun I, you, we, and they, we keep the verb the same way. So I live in Dublin, or you live in Dublin, they live in Dublin. Yeah, but when we talk about he, she, and it, we add an s. It's important that for affirmative sentences we add an s. And here we have the spelling rules for the third person verbs in the present simple. So for example, there you have I work in a bank. But if I use it in the third person, he works in a bank. So here we added an s after the verb because it's a verb ending in consonant. Yeah? Then, I play football, or he plays football. Again, we add an S because it's a word ending in vowel plus Y. This is very important, and this is one of the things that students usually get confused when the word is finished in Y, because we have two different things there. So the first one we're going to talk about is play. So play is finished in a vowel A plus Y. In this case, we just add an S after the verb. He plays football. All right? Then, I watch TV. He watches TV. Here is a bit different. Instead of just adding an S, we added ES because we do that in words ending in CH, SH, S, SS, or X. So if your verb is finished in one of these letters, we add ES. And the last example here is I study English. He studies English. So in this case, it's different because study is finished in Y, but before the Y we have a consonant D. So in this case we add IES. So words ending in consonant plus Y, we add IES. Okay? So this happens, these spelling rules happen for he, she, and it in the affirmative form. Okay? We also have some verbs that are irregular verbs that they don't use the same rules. They have different spelling. So the verbs have, go, and do, they are different for third person. So I say I have, he has. Never he has. Believe me, I have heard people saying she has or he has, and it's incorrect. So the correct way is has. Then we have the verb go. I go, she goes. I do, she does. All right? Affirmative, a very simple review of affirmative verbs in the present simple. Now let's take a look at the negative form. So here we add the auxiliary verb. So for I, you, we, and they, I use don't. Oh, sorry guys, there is a mistake here. Let me fix it. So I, you, we, and they, we use don't. So I don't live in Dublin. We don't live in Dublin. But for he, she, and it, it's a different auxiliary verb. We use doesn't. So he doesn't live in Dublin. She doesn't live in Dublin. Important. There is no S on the main verb. So remember that we use S for affirmatives. He lives in Dublin. When we change the sentence for the negative, we can't use the S anymore. So look here, he doesn't live. No S. This is also another common mistake students make. Saying he doesn't live or she doesn't lives, and we cannot use the S because when we use doesn't, this is already the function of the present simple, so we don't need the S here. Okay? And also, if you want to make negative sentences, you can use the adverb never with a positive verb. Yeah, it's very common to use adverbs on present simple questions. So I always go to work by bus. I never work on weekends. Like here, they never work on weekends. If we use the adverb never, we keep the verb in the affirmative way. All right? you can't say they don't never work on weekends. It's incorrect. If you use never, the verb stays in the positive form, the affirmative form. Okay? So, third person, doesn't. Are, you, we, and they, don't. Okay? All good? Now, let's check the question form. We still use the auxiliary verb here, but in the affirmative way, the positive way. So, do I, you, we, and they live in Dublin? So, do you live in Dublin? Do they live in Dublin? And if you're making a question, the auxiliary verb is the first thing you need to use. It goes to the beginning of the sentence, yeah? Or if it's he, she, and it, third person, we use does. Does he live in Dublin? Does she live in Dublin? Yeah? Teacher, what if I want to use the WH questions like what, where, who, why? How do we make these questions? Sorry, important. Here we also don't add the S, all right? So does she live? No S. We only add the S for affirmative sentences. Now let's see the WH words. So here, for example, where do you live? So in this case, when we have a WH word, it goes before the auxiliary verb. So where do you live? Where does she live? Yeah? So what are the WH questions again? Where, what, when, who, why, which, how, and etc. All of these question words, they come before the auxiliary verb, and then the same structure, subject pronoun and base form verb. Okay, all good. Now that we have reviewed the forms, let's talk about the uses. So there are many uses for the present simple. We can use it to talk about present, past, and future, as we saw on the first slide. And we're going to talk about 8 of them today, okay? 8 different uses of the present simple. So let's talk about the first one. The number 1 use is to express what happens habitually or regularly. So something that happens every day or almost every day. So here we have habits, routines, and repeated actions. Things that are done usually, often, regularly, occasionally, sometimes, and etc. And things done on certain days or occasions. So again, the use of adverbs is very common here, yeah, for the present simple. So as you can see here, when you talk about habits and repeated actions and routines, means something that is done every day since the past, now in the future. It's going to continue the same every day. Let's see some examples. I always get up at 8 o'clock. So yesterday I woke up at 8. Today I woke up at 8. Tomorrow I woke up at 8. It's a habit, something I do every day. I usually have lunch at work. So maybe not every day, but it's a habit. Almost every day I do that. And my favorite restaurant closes on Mondays. So it's something that always happens. Every Monday, my favorite restaurant is closed. So it's something that happens regularly. Okay? So this is the first use of the present simple. All right, now let's take a look at the second one. To describe facts that are always or usually true. Permanent situations, truth, and things believed to be true, like things that happen all the time. Things that seems permanently true and don't have any obvious beginning or end. So we don't really know when it started happening or if it will end. It's something that is in a cycle. It always happens and it's always true. For example, the sun rises every day. Yeah, so it's a fact. It's a fact. The sun rises every day, 365 days a year. Okay, so it's something that's not going to change. Another example there. The river flows in a south direction. So the river won't change its course. It's something that is always true. My brother lives in London. So my brother is living there. Maybe he will move, but not tomorrow, not every day. So it's something that is happening for a while and it's not likely to change. Yeah? Good. Let's take a look at number 3. With verbs that do not normally take the continuous form. So this is also a very common mistake. Students usually use ing verbs for things that are doing at the moment, but there are some verbs that we cannot do that. The state verbs, yeah? So state, senses, and feelings. These are verbs that we have to use in the present simple form, even though it's something that is happening at the moment. They cannot take the ing form. So using verbs such as believe, know, live, have, feel, like, taste, dislike, appear, belong, understand, and etc. and etc. These are verbs that cannot take the continuous form. We can't say I am believing, I'm knowing, I'm living. Yeah, we usually can't say that. So we use it in the present simple form. Let's see some examples. I feel sorry for her. So I don't say I am feeling sorry. I say I feel sorry. She likes her new school, not she's liking. And he doesn't understand the new grammar, not he's not understanding. Okay? So when we have state, sense, and feelings, verbs that talk about state, sense, and feelings, we don't put the ing form. We use it in the present simple form, even though we're talking about something that is happening around now. Okay? Use number 4. Timetabled or planned events in the future. So remember what I talked about in the first slide. The present simple can be used for present, past, and future. So here is a future example. This sentence, although it's written in the present simple, it's talking about the future. It's a future meaning. So used to talk about timetables, programs of events, and people's schedule. So as you can see here, we are now, but the schedule event is in the future. All right, let's see some examples. The train leaves at 3 o'clock. So 3 o'clock is in the future, yes? But it's something timetabled. We have a schedule there. So we use it in the present simple. We use that for trains, for buses, for flights. We can use the present simple. So my flight leaves at 11 a.m. Okay? Because it's something timetabled. The class starts at 10 a.m. is a future plan, and we can use it in the present simple. The match starts at 6 p.m. Also future meaning, but we use the present simple. Okay? Good. Let's check the next one. 5. With if and when for parallel facts and conditions. So also we could talk about the, what is the name again? Conditionals, yeah, but I'm not go into that now. But when we use the words if and when for parallel facts or conditions, it's again about a future meaning. So the future after the words when or if, when, will cannot be used. So there are some cases that we can't use will for the future form. So that's why we use the present simple. Let's see some examples. Call me when you arrive. So I can't say call me when you will arrive. It doesn't sound good, does it? So you are going to arrive in the future, sometime in the future, but still we use the present simple to talk about it. Or I can send it by mail if you prefer, or if you send me. So probably you're going to send me your mail in the future, but we can use it in the present by now. Okay? Present simple, again for future meaning. 6. Newspaper headlines. This is a fun one because this usually is talking about a fact in the past. When we read the news, we're reading about something that has already happened and now we're reading about it. So it's talking about the past, but they use the present simple to make a past event seem more live. Yeah? So some examples here are President bans union. So the president banned the union yesterday or 2 days ago, but I'm talking about it in the present when it's a newspaper headline just to catch people's attention and to make the past event seem more live. Yeah? Another example there. Farmers find treasure. So the farmers have already found in the past. They have the treasure, but in the present for the newspaper headline. Local girl wins national contest. So the contest happened already. She already won, but they use the present simple here. Okay? So here we can see that it's about something in the past, although we use it the present simple. Okay? Number 7. To describe a sequence of events. So this could be about anything. Could be related about a sequence of events in a film, in a play, or in a book, or something that's happening at the moment. So for example here, first turn on the TV, then press the record button. So you're really giving instructions here, like recipes. You can use that to give a sequence of events that should be done one after the other. Pour the milk and add the eggs, a recipe as I said. She opens, another mistake here, sorry. She opens the door, sees him, and runs away. So this is probably about a book, maybe a story, and it's a sequence of events and we're using the present simple to describe it. Yeah? And the last one, live commentary of sports events. So describing a sequence of events during a sports match that is happening at the moment. So if you're listening to a match on the radio, or even if you're watching the TV, the person commenting is probably going to use the present simple to say he kicks the ball, he scores the goal, because they don't have the time to use the present continuously. He is doing this, she is doing that. It has to be quick. So, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo kicks the ball, Messi scores a goal. So they use the present simple to comment on a sport that's happening at that moment. Okay? Alright guys, so these were our 8 uses of the present simple, and now I want to challenge you for one practice exercise. So I have here 8 sentences, and I want you to match the sentences to the correct category of use of the present simple. So here in the yellow box, you have the 8 uses that we talked about. So number 1 there is happens regularly. 2. Facts that are always true. 3. Verbs that don't take continuous form. 4. Timetabled or planned events. 5. With if and when. 6. Newspaper headlines. 7. To describe a sequence of events. And 8. Live commentary of sports events. Okay? So what I wanted to do is read these sentences from A to H and match them to the correct category from 1 to 8. Can you do that? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Write down your answers, and we're going to check your answers on the next slide, okay? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Read and match them. So match the sentences to the correct category. A few more seconds and we're gonna check them. Okay, are you ready to check? Can we check your answers? Let's do it. So, number one, A, letter A. Local girl wins national contest is number 6, newspaper headlines. Yeah, we talked about this one. B, the hero meets the girl in a cafe, falls in love with her, and number 7, to describe a sequence of events, could be a book. C, we usually take part in the general knowledge quiz on Friday. So number 1, something that happens regularly. We usually do that every Friday. Yeah? D, the earth revolves around the sun. 2, it's a fact, something that is always true. It won't change. Yeah? E, if he saves money, he'll soon be able to buy a new computer. So number 5, using if or when. F, Messi passes the ball, Cristiano Ronaldo scores the goal. Number 8, live commentary of sport events. G, the president arrives at 9:30. So this is a timetabled event, a future plan. And H, this tea tastes funny. Number 3, it's a one. So taste is one of the verbs that don't take the continuous form. All right, guys, that's it. Did you get most of them correct? Yes, a little bit. So thank you so much for participating today, and thank you for coming for one more class. I'm very happy to be with you guys here in the revision now. And if you have any questions, please leave them comments, and I'm gonna be happy to answer all of you. Okay, thank you for coming to our class. I'll be here waiting for you guys tomorrow again the same time. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye.